My name is Corey Pritchard, and I'm the head financial engineer for True Financial Engineering. And what I want to do is take a few moments just to share a profound concept that I know that you've never heard, that is really one that I know will transform your financial future if you will allow it to. So, what I'd like for you to do to make sure you can get the most out of this short video is to think about what you're doing with your assets. What are you doing with your cash currently? And it doesn't matter if you make $20,000 a year or if you make $1 million a year. The reality is, it's the same cash that we spend to buy, say, a can of Coke as the same dollar that we would use to actually buy a piece of property. It's the same dollar. So what I want you to think about for yourself is how hard are you working? So if you think about, your current employment or business that you're in, if you're working 40 hours a week, usually that's minimum 50, 60 hours, maybe 70 hours for some of you. Think about how hard you're working to gain each dollar, right? Each credit or each digit that actually is deposited into your bank account. So, what I want you to think about is, would you like an opportunity to have the resources that you work hard for to begin to work harder than you are, right? We know that you're working hard. We know that you're sacrificing time away from family and doing the things that you would like to do. But wouldn't you like to have the opportunity to have your money begin to work harder for you so that maybe you can scale back in the future, right? Maybe you can decide to devote your time into doing what you want to do full time in your purpose. So here at True Financial Engineering, my goal is to help you retire into God's unique purpose for you full time. And one way that I would like to be able to help you do that is by offering tools that I believe are absolutely unique. So one thing that's unique about a financial engineer is the tools that we use. So you can go out and you can get some of these products from maybe online without dealing with any representative, or you can get them from some licensed professionals that are licensed like I am. But the reality is, not everyone has the same idea, the same approach, the same philosophy, and the same use. And what I'm looking at is efficiency, right? I want to make sure that whatever it is that you're doing, it is absolutely efficient, absolutely effective, right? We want to make sure that it's working, right? That it's effective, but is it actually doing what it needs to do without waste? So, with that being said, then consider the home that you currently have for your money. Most people are probably putting their money in a bank account. If you have bank products, then it's probably going to be a traditional bank account, right? A checking account, savings account, could be a money market account, possibly CDs. I really don't hear a lot of people at my age, maybe older than I'm 45, maybe older than 60, that are still putting their money into CDs. Could be bonds, right? The newer thing is cryptocurrency, right? Maybe you're putting some money into cryptocurrency. Maybe you're investing in the stock market, right? Maybe you are really starting to deposit more into your retirement account, 401k, mutual fund, whatever it is that you're doing at work to try to plan for your departure, leaving from a job at some point. So, whatever it is, what I want you to do is stop and ponder this, because all of those were concepts. All of those began as concepts that were homes for money or homes for assets, right? So, before banks, then people, probably put their money in a jar or under the mattress, right, or wherever they put it at. So someone had to come up with the concept or the idea and then sell it to people so that those people would bring those digits, right? Bring those dollars or coins into the bank and allow them to hold them, right? So someone had to do that. Same way with 401k, same way with cryptocurrency, same way with stocks that you buy. Everything, it starts with a concept of somebody wanting your money, right? Because again, remember, it's the same dollar that's used to buy a can of Coke or a piece of property. So they want to house that money. They want to hold that money. And the reason why they want to do that is because they want to use your money to go make money. Okay. And most of us have been okay with that. No one really complains about it. So the reality is, they're only marketing to you. They're only spending the amount of expenses and the overhead that they spend so that they can house that money, right? So they can hold on to that money and have the ability to go use it to go make more money, right? Either buying something low and selling it high, or to loan that money out at interest. So what I want you to consider is, with all the financial relationships that you have, right? It don't matter what the financial relationship is. It could be through a bank or a life insurance company. It could be through a retirement plan. then these are financial relationships that we have. Then is that relationship a mutual benefit relationship, right? Is it a case where they're getting more out of the relationship than you're getting out of the relationship? So with that being said, I decided for myself that I didn't like being um, over leveraged, right? I didn't like being the profit center for a lot of these financial relationships. I didn't like having the lower end or shorter end of the stick. So I really wanted to make sure that I could understand money in a different way. So I'm not even going to tell you what the product is for this. I want you to get the concept of what this actually does. And then I want you to be able to decide for yourself, is this something that you feel like is working for you? So with that being said, this is a very simple breakdown, okay? It's a lot of stuff that's written there, and you'll see I'm going to make it very, very simple, and it's not going to be anything that's complicated. So, what I like you to consider is, again, that this is a home for your cash. Okay. So, if you're going to repeat that, you can repeat home for my cash, right? So, what I'm offering is a alternative, right, or a secondary home, right? Maybe some people can think about having a primary residence and then they end up getting a vacation home or a second home that they go to for a few months out of the year, right? So what I'm sharing is that this is a possible, right, primary residence, or it could be a secondary residence for your home. So the concept that I like to share with you is storehouse of wealth. And I really love this. Okay. So a friend of mine shared this. He said that I think a picture speaks 1,000 words, but a logo speaks 1,000 pictures. I think that's what it is. So I literally use a house as the logo for this product. And the reason why I do it is because I want us to get the idea that I am storing up, right? Literally storing up. So you may or may not have had this education, but it was stolen from us probably decades ago, that we should capitalize our own business projects, right? Everything that we want to do, we should be responsible for capitalizing, which I mean is just storing up money. So when you want to go buy a car, we should be able to pay cash for that, especially in America, thinking about the incomes that we have. If you want to buy a house, we should be able to pay cash for that. If you want to start a business, we should be able to pay cash for those things. And what we've done is we've gotten very comfortable with the ability to have an increased credit score, someone come in and decide based on your income that they'll qualify you for a loan and then charge you interest. We've been okay with that type of relationship. But imagine for yourself, had the education been different financially and from the beginning, that you use only a small percentage of your paycheck, right? And living on maybe half of your paycheck or 60% of your paycheck. And maybe you decided that based on your tradition, right? Cultural tradition concerning money is that you save, say, 40% of your money. Now, I'm not telling you to save 40% of your money. I'm just saying, imagine how different life would be if you didn't know any different. If the only thing you knew was saving 50% of your money or 40% of your money, then I would say that financially over 10, 15, 20 years of time, then things will look a lot different financially, right? So with that being said, then when you're looking at a storehouse of wealth, again, it is a home for your cash. Okay. So in this scenario, what I'm saying is, again, dealing with the way that we're used to dealing with money, usually you're thinking about those traditional products, whatever those things are, and the ways that you've been dealing with money. So just travel along with me just briefly as we look at this. Okay. Imagine a home for your cash. This home has 12 rooms in it. Okay. Now, the beauty of this home is that this home will be insured for a large sum. Okay. So no matter how much cash that you actually have inside this home, then it's going to be insured for a much higher amount. In many cases, it could be 200 or more times the amount of cash that's actually inside the home. So imagine when this home is actually gone away, right? It's destroyed and it's passing on. Then after that, then what the beneficiary will receive, or the person that's in line, your family member, loved one, business partner, whatever it is going to receive this higher number. Okay, so in this scenario, just imagine this home is insured for $500,000. So in this scenario, then again, I'm saying that there's 12 rooms. So normally what happens is that if you're saving for retirement, if you're saving for vacation, if you're saving for whatever it is, normally we're going to allot either a specific dollar amount, or we're going to allot a percentage of our income in order to be able to store up for whatever it is we want to do, whatever the thing is, right? And you decide to do that. And normally we would either have that to be set aside on a monthly basis, or it will be set aside on a per paycheck basis, right? So in the scenario, I'm saying that this is the same thing. Okay. The only difference is that instead of you allocating those resources, the percentage or dollar amount, and having it go into a bank account, traditional bank account, right? Having it go into your retirement account, is that you would actually funnel those resources right here into your storehouse, right? Right here into this location. And I'm saying to you that as we follow along with this, just imagine what your money would do in this scenario. Okay. So in this scenario, we'll say that maybe there's $1,000 a month. Okay. That you decide that you want to store away for a month. Okay. So you're saying, okay, I'm working super hard. This is going to really be tough for some people. It's not really that hard, but you're deciding that you're going to set aside $1,000 per month for whatever it is that you decide you want to do. Okay. So with this concept, then what I normally set up is a way that about 20, 15 to 20%, okay, I'll say 15% of it is going to be used to be able to maintain this house. It maintains the house. It makes sure that the insurance is paid for the house, so if something happened, they're going to pay out that higher amount. So only about 15% of that is going to be used for that. So if the expenses are 15%, then that means that 85% of the resources that you're setting aside, which would be about $850, would be able to be deposited into your storehouse. Okay. Does that make sense? So again, I'm saying 15%. Okay. So if we're saying that 15% is used for the expense, then we're saying 85% is able to allow the cash to actually accumulate. It goes into whatever bank account, and then you're looking to say, man, this is what I'm really being able to do. Now you say, so Corey, why would I pay 15% as an expense in order to have this house maintained? Well, you'll see why in just a moment. And you'll see the 15% is really not a lot for what you're actually getting out of it, especially when it protects this cash value, right? This cash is actually being able to grow. So in this scenario, again, I'm saying $850. Okay. So just make sure I'm looking at this correct. Correct. Just a moment. Okay. Okay. So I'm not going to fill in the rest of that, but you'll get an idea. So here's the way it goes. Okay. So you've allotted $1,000 a month in this scenario. For you, it could be 500, 200, whatever the amount is. But I want you to understand that of the amount that you have, 15% is going to be used for the expense. Okay. This is what this amount, this line that you see here, and this is a room. Okay. There's 12 rooms in this home, in this scenario. Each room represents a month. Okay. So every month that you deposit money into your storehouse, it's going to go into the room for that month every single month. So if you pay whatever amount in January, it's going to go into January's room. Okay. If you pay whatever in February, it's going to go into February's room. So the reality is that all the year long is that you should have your minimum amount that's paid. Okay. Again, taking care of the expenses, and then everything that is above what you actually pay for the expenses to keep this thing in place, it's going to be available for cash. Okay. It's going to be available to be stored up for cash. So if you're doing this all year long, again, thinking about this, okay. Now, again, I don't know what your needs are, but I'm suggesting that you look at this as a place to make sure that you're storing up cash so that you could do something that's actually going to really be able to make you money, right? So could you take a vacation? Absolutely. Could you pay for your child's orthodontist, procedure? Absolutely. Could you fix a car? Could you do those things? Absolutely. But what I'm sharing is, imagine if you have this happening all year, and imagine if this is happening for multiple years, the cash alone, without any interest at all, just the cash alone would accumulate and would allow you to do some things that you really want to be able to do. And it would also take a lot of stress off of you. So imagine that you're going to work every day in a stressful situation, a job or whatever it is. What if you knew that your storehouse was constantly building, building, right? So that when the time comes, when you have a project that you really think that really means something to you, could be a business, could be whatever the project is. And what if you could just gain something from it, right? Whatever the amount of money that you could gain from it, that would be something that would benefit you. Why? Because you're already working. Everything else would be bonus. Okay. So again, so this is the way that it works. So everything above the minimum is actually going into this cash amount, this cash accumulation amount. Okay. So here's the way it goes. Okay. And this is the beauty of it, which gets a little bit awesome. Like I said, a little bit, it gets really awesome. But when you look at it, then your money actually inside this house, which is very unique, then it's protected from loss. Okay, so it doesn't matter what's going on with the economy, it doesn't matter what's going on with the stock market, it doesn't matter what's going on with any of those things. Then no matter what, then the cash accumulated inside your policy, then it does not lose any money. Okay, now you say, well, that's not so bad. Okay, because you say that when I put my money in a bank account, then I get a very similar situation. Yeah, okay, but here's the upside. In your bank account or whatever traditional product that you have, then the question is, in any month, would they be willing to pay you 10% interest or more? Right. So if you had $850, right, or $8,000 or $8 million, right, or whatever the amount of money that you had stored up inside this house. The question is, would that place that you're currently storing your money, would they be willing to pay you 10% interest or more without any risk of loss? Right. Again, you're getting the safety and security. So this is a secure place. So imagine if you had guards or guard dogs, a big fence that's around this. This place is super secure, and it does all day long is make sure that your money is protected. So imagine having a safe place for your money where it doesn't lose anything, and you have this upside potential of 10% or more that you could have. I would say that's a pretty good place for your money. So imagine making money again anywhere between 0 to 10. Okay, in some scenarios it could be 0 to 15, could be much higher. And again, looking at this house, you still have this home protection is the way I look at it, right? Something happens, then it's going to pay out this higher amount. Your money is stored up here, it's protected. Okay, it's growing. The maximum, okay, is there for you, so you have a high growth potential. You can earn a lot of money. Your money is also protected, zeroed out. Okay, I like it because it's super efficient. Again, we're only using about 15% of the money that you're actually setting aside in order to actually pay for the expenses. Everything else is just cash, right? On cash, waiting to grow. So when we're looking at this, the next step I would like for you to consider is this. When you have your money in a retirement account, then the question that most people should ask themselves is how much access do I have to it, right? Obviously, you want it to be protected first, you want it to be safe, but you also want to know what kind of access do I have? Like, so when I really need it and I want to do something with it, then what do I have to do in order to access it? And then if I'm accessing it, what is the price I'm paying? Right? What penalty am I paying to access my own money? So the beauty about this is that when you're accessing it, you don't have to wait to age 59 and a half. For a lot of people that don't understand about traditional retirement products, is that you can't access those resources, not 100% of the resources, before age 59 and a half, right? So you have to wait till you're almost 60 years old in order to be able to access it. So imagine you're really saying, hey, I want to be able to get really active and get involved with real estate. I have some franchises that I've been looking at. I really would like to put my hand on some of those and really begin to do some of that. You don't want to wait until 60 years old, right? You want to do that as quickly as you possibly can. As quick as you have that cash and access to it, you want to be able to do it. So the beauty about this is that you're able to go in and actually grab the accumulated cash before age 60. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Okay. Another thing that I like about this is that you have these resources that are actually here. The cash is growing, it's growing tax free, right? Which is crazy to even think about. But because of the way the tax laws are set up, then these resources will actually grow tax free. Okay. And the beauty of it is, again, you're accessing those also, if we do it right, accessing it also without paying taxes. I love it. So imagine working all of your life, you're paying taxes on it in the years that it's going in. So all the accumulated cash, that's not going to be taxed anymore. Okay. So that's a beautiful thing. So you can have that. I love it. For a lot of people, this is not their problem, but for a number of people that are listening to the sound of my voice, this is a problem. Income limits, right? So for a lot of the retirement accounts that are set up, they could have some very good advantages. The challenge is that they will limit the amount of deposits that you can make annually, right? So if a person is making three, four, $500,000 a year, then you can't have a traditional product and think you're going to dump $20,000 in a year into that. It's just they're not going to allow it. They have these income limits. So if your income exceeds that amount, they're not going to let you do it. So how beautiful is it that it doesn't matter if you're a hundredaire, right, or a multi-millionaire. It don't matter how much money you got. The beauty is that you can take full advantage of this as a home for your cash, and there's no income limits, right? How beautiful is that, right? You make $5 million, $10 million, $1 billion, then they don't care about your income. You can set this thing up and you can deposit as much cash as you want into it, and you don't have to worry about these taxes. Isn't that crazy to think about? Is that you can set that up. So again, for someone that maybe is below $75,000 or something like that, you're like, well, that don't really mean a lot to me. But I'm telling you, you listen to me, and if it's somebody that's making over $200,000 a year, you already know what I'm talking about is crazy, right? So I'm saying to you that this is a very sound place for your cash. The last thing is that as you're depositing money into this account, then the beauty is every single month you're putting cash into these rooms, right? You can actually access 100% of your cash. This is crazy, okay? It absolutely blows my mind, and I'm not, selling any dreams. I'm just telling you the way that it is. And I should have put infinity and beyond, which is crazy to think about. Okay, so anybody's ever seen Toy Story, and the character, right, infinity, that says infinity and beyond, I'm telling you that. So imagine being able to access 100% of your cash from month 12 on. Okay, so the way it goes is that you're storing up cash for 12 months, then they're going to look back and see how did January perform, right? And if it went up, they're going to give you whatever that interest rate is, right, beginning on month 13, 14, 15. So for the life of the policy, now you're going to be able to be eligible for these credits. And there's different ways that you can actually decide that these rooms actually get credited interest. You can take a fixed rate if you choose to, which is very similar, usually a little bit higher than the bank rate. So say you don't want to do anything that's related to any volatility, right? And you want to know that you get this predictable amount, fine. Just take maybe 4%, right? Maybe 3% on a monthly basis, and you can do that. You can also decide that you want to take these higher rates if you want to do that. And that's usually mirrored towards like a stock market type of thing, but your money is not directly in the stock market. What happens is that these companies that we partner with, they buy options, right? They buy stock options. They don't take your money and put it directly into the stock market. So based on those performances, then you can actually get credit for that, right? Every single month, as long as it goes up. Now, obviously, we know the stock market goes down, so you're not going to have a guaranteed amount. So if the stock market goes down, here's the beauty of your floor, right? Here's the beauty of your minimum. So worst case scenario, you just don't get any interest that month, but you're still storing up every single month, so you can look for that cash that you have and accessing it, knowing again that it's protected. We got guard dogs, secure fence, with all of that, all of the great security to keep your cash safe. That stuff is there. So it's just beautiful to think about. So in review, to understand what it is that we're talking about, okay? This is a concept, okay? I do use a specific product. I'm not even going to tell you what the product is. I'm saying that I could use this concept for a number of different things if a person understands the value of being able to capitalize and store up money, right, in a place where it's a safer place where you can earn some type of interest and you have access to it. We could do this concept with just about anything. So I am suggesting that this is done with a specific product. Okay. So if you are interested in finding out how we could do this with your resources to make sure that your money is by at minimum, right? At minimum doubling every 7 years, right? We should have at least that. But don't rely on that. Okay. Again, my main goal for doing this is to make sure you have complete access to the cash. So you're just not using this as a retirement plan. It could be a retirement plan, right? But why would you want to wait 7 years for your money to double, right? 10 years for your money to double. What if we could help you put resource in a place that you can access and you can make sure that your money doubles, say in 12 months, right? Or 24 months, right? 36 months, right? And that's the type of stuff that just really goes through the roof. So if you are a person that's interested in getting more information about this, again, my name is Corey Pritchard. I am the head financial engineer here with True Financial Engineering. I would love to put together some numbers for you. Okay. All it comes down to is determining how much money that you want to set aside. You're probably already saving anyways. So all we're going to do is put it everything in place just based on whatever that number is. Okay. So if it's $500 or $200 or $100, right? Whatever the amount of money is, then we're going to set this up. Okay. For some people, it could be $50,000 a month, right? Or $100,000 a month that you're looking to fund your project to be able to have access to it later. So we can actually take care of that. So if you would like more information, you can email storehouseofwealth@gmail.com. Again, that's storehouseofwealth@gmail.com. What you'll receive is 3 short videos. You can actually find out a little bit more about what it is that we're doing here. The last video gives you far more details than you would ever think about, right? I'm actually using this myself, right? I'm eating my own cooking. So you actually get a chance to see how I'm using this concept, right? And putting into place for me and my family. So I can actually show you that. And after that, it's just for you to decide, do you want to give me your personal information, right? I don't share it with anybody. I don't sell it. I will need your personal information, your permission to be able to see if you can qualify for it. Not everybody can qualify for this. Okay. So it's just a simple process of being able to go through the paperwork and giving permission for them to see, is this something that's going to work for you and your family? So I look forward to seeing you on another video. And again, my goal is to help you retire into God's unique purpose for your life. Have a great day.